Today, we're going to dive into the journey that pretty much every 21st century teacher is on right now. That big shift from being a little hesitant about tech to becoming a real leader of change in the classroom. And we're going to do it by following one teacher's personal story of that exact transformation.
This quote, it just gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? Technology in our schools isn't just about fancy new gadgets. It's about needing a whole new sets of skills, brand new ways of thinking and working with information. And that right there is the core challenge for educators today.
So here's how we'll follow her path. We'll start by understanding this new literacy landscape, then see her reluctant start, watch her become a change agent, see how she learned from her mistakes, and finally, realize this journey never really ends.
Okay, let's start where a lot of us do, with a good bit of hesitation. This is the story of a teacher who, let's just say, was not jumping on the tech bandwagon right away.
So this is where our teacher began. You know, technology was kind of this thing off in the corner, used for really basic stuff like prepping materials. There was this real reluctance to bring it into the heart of the classroom. Sound familiar?
And then, everything changed. Suddenly, a global crisis forced this massive, unplanned experiment in education, and it pushed teachers absolutely everywhere into territory they've never seen before.
And here was the crucial realization. The old way of doing things, the traditional lecture, it just flat out didn't work online. But this breakdown, ironically, became this huge opportunity. It forced this incredible wave of creativity and adaptation.
So being forced to adapt like that actually sparked a really profound internal shift. Let's dig into how a reluctant teacher started to transform into a leader of classroom change.
Now this is so interesting. This quote reframes an entire process. It's not just about learning a new app or a new tool. It's about fundamentally changing yourself first. Your own growth is what fuels the growth in your classroom.
So what does it really mean to be a change agent in school? Well, it's about being someone who doesn't just react when things change. It's about being someone who actively and positively shapes the entire learning environment for their students.
And this whole transformation really stands on three pillars. First, it starts on the inside, with the attributes of having a clear vision. That then fuels your external attitudes, being proactive and positive. And finally, those things lead to real, concrete actions, like working with others and just refusing to give up, even when it gets tough.
For the teacher in our story, this meant going right back to square one. She actually enrolled in online courses herself, really embracing the vulnerability of being a learner all over again. And as she learned new strategies, she'd immediately try them out in her lessons, slowly building that confidence to make a real difference.
And this brings us to one of the most powerful things that came out of this whole journey. Realizing that your own learning process is actually one of your greatest teaching tools.
The really big shift was moving away from feeling like you have to be the expert with all the answers to becoming the lead learner who shows everyone how to find the answers. It's all about being open and honest about your own struggles and successes with new stuff.
I mean, this quote just says it all. A technical glitch isn't a failure you have to hide anymore. It actually becomes a live, teachable moment. A mistake becomes a real-world problem-solving exercise for the entire class. It's brilliant.
Being transparent like this creates what you might call psychological safety. When your students see that it is totally okay to mess up, the whole dynamic changes. They start becoming active partners in the classroom, sometimes even helping you figure out the tech issues.
So in practice, this just means sharing your journey, the fumbles, the wins, all of it. You're not just teaching a subject anymore, you're modeling that resilient, self-directed learning attitude that we want our students to have for the rest of their lives.
So where does this all lead? Well, probably the most important lesson here is that this journey of change, it doesn't really have a final destination.
That teacher who started out so reluctant is now actively looking for the next challenge. She's actually excited to try new resources like Flipgrid, not because she has to, but because she wants to. She's fully embraced a mindset of continuous learning.
Okay, so let's turn this back to you. Think about your own journey with technology and new teaching methods. Where did you start? Were you an early adopter from day one? Or were you, like the teacher in our story, a little more reluctant?
Now, think about where you are right this moment. What skills have you picked up? How has your attitude about all these new literacies shifted over time?
And here's the final and maybe most important question. This journey is ongoing. So, what is one new thing you want to explore? What's the next step you can take on your own path to becoming a change agent?
The road is yours to discover.